Tom Curran of NBC Sports Boston and all things New England Patriots, the insider himself, back here on the program. Good to see you, Tommy.
Hey,
How are you?
Tom Curran. Hey, what's going on? You know, if your name is Skip, your ability to Bigfoot another man is significantly reduced.
I always need to check in with New England for a little bit of an ego boost, except in my own house. Listen, Tom, 9-2 is way above anybody's expectation level, correct? 9-2, right?
Yeah,
Tom?
Cam actually has a point, and I'm not positive what outlet he's with either. I'm sure it's ESPN, but I don't know what show. But
it is First Take.
But here, I saw it earlier in the week. Listen to this: strength of victory, Rich. So the win-loss percentage of the teams that you've beaten. The Broncos is actually the lowest at 354. Patriots are at 359. Colts is 366. On and on. Most of the teams at the top have beaten teams that have collectively not done great. But the win-loss percentage of opponents, the Patriots is 369. So the teams that they have played have collectively at this juncture only won 37% of the games. Broncos is at 423. Colts is at 431. Generally speaking, if you're at the top of the conference, the teams that you have played will have lower collective records because you beat them. So they're worse. But he's not wrong.
Except for this fact, though, Tom, and I appreciate you pointing out those facts, is the Patriots over the last 2-3 years were in no position to beat the teams that they're supposed to beat.
No, they earned this.
100%. In the last few years, they were not in any position of, oh, we're better here, we're better there. Just watch us go ahead and execute and go win the games. Not at all. And then you've got, I don't care how many times Mike Vrabel has previously won Coach of the Year. He's a new coach, and there's a new system, and there's new terminologies, and there's new cultures, and there's new receivers, and there's new rookies. And maybe the Patriots have taken advantage of being able to get on the same page and get some momentum going in a way that if they played teams with better records, they wouldn't have been. But when they went into Western New York, the Bills were still, Super Bowl worthy Bills, which they are as of just this week again. You know what I mean? Like, you can't discount that.
No,
you can't
you're right.
Discount it. You can't.
I'm defending Cam's take from a 30,000-foot view.
Sure.
If you're going to be a national pundit, which he is, you might not know the Patriots season story inside and out. You might not be aware that they've dispatched everybody with relative ease, and even in the games in which they were challenged, they showed great resilience to win those games, that they play efficiently. They have some Achilles heels, but it's the nature of these wins. They're not dumbing into 9-2. They're not seeing doinked field goals by the opponents and myriad turnovers and just vast ineptitude. They're not seeing good teams, but they're beating them. They're not lucking into them. So that's the fine print about these Patriots right now. Rich, I've said this. I keep waiting for the egg to get laid, and it's just not popping out. None of these weeks. I said, Jets, they're going to lay an egg. Tampa, there's got to be an egg. No eggs. Eggless.
Well, I mean, I guess the eggs were the two losses. Losing to a Vegas team that, as we know, has not been able to shoot straight since. And then a Steelers team that they easily could have beaten had they held on to the football. And then Carolina's only gotten better since you've seen them. New Orleans popped Carolina in a division contest where you throw records out, similar to the one that, in all honesty, I don't care that the Jets have only 2 wins. You usually do that sometimes in a short week game. So what is it? Obviously coach, quarterback, and top-notch coordinator together will work out. Let's take it one at a time here.
Sure.
Is Vrabel different, you think, a 2.0 version of him in a way that Belichick was more 2.0 when he showed up in New England? He just seems to be, again, I think a little bit more, he's throwing arms around people. Or is that just because it's such a different way of seeing a Patriot coach handle business after Belichick for 20 years?
I think that every coach on a second time around, Rich, I'm not telling you anything you don't know because you've covered as long or if not longer than me, but I think they're all different because they have said, okay, these are the things I need to stay away from. These are the things that I can do. And they had a year. That was important, I think, for Mike to be in Cleveland for a year to kind of self-audit and watch how somebody else did it at the NFL level. He saw it in Houston. He did it at the NFL level. He did it in Tennessee. He saw where the potholes, pratfalls, and landmines might exist. Watched it in Cleveland. And then when he got here, one other aspect I think that is extremely important to what he's instilling and installing is he knows the area. He knows the media. He knows how to approach us, which is to give us a bunch, but we're thirsty little, baby Robins out here. Just give us anything. So giving us just enough to satiate us will be great. Treating us pretty well, but be good. And if you're not good, and this was always the way it was with Bill Rich, believe it or not, if the team wasn't good, all we wanted was a candid reflection on reasons why. And if he wasn't going to give it at the podium, can we have a conversation on the side and you can explain some of this stuff to me? And he didn't do that in the last few years. It was just, I don't need them. And that's okay. It's the media. I'm not trying to oversell us, but yes. I think Mike's comfort level coming in here with a variety of things, fan base, ownership, media, the way he wanted to message, and having a very strict plan has all helped him a lot. So if you want to hit three things, I cannot talk for 4 minutes about the next two.
Well, then let's talk about Drake Maye. Give me your favorite story you've heard about him this year that can potentially encapsulate his ascension, his professionalism, his otherworldly ability to throw a deep ball or say that ball to Kyle Williams that he threw for a touchdown against Tampa. What story have you heard that can potentially shed some light, Tom?
I can only give anecdotally what I observed was last year a guy who actually performed poorly at the ends of games, put the ball into harm's way. He came into training camp. He didn't throw a pick for like 160 passes. I mentioned it. I mentioned it to him. He immediately went out and threw a pick to begin an inter-squad stadium scrimmage and to end it. Then he goes out in the first preseason game and he has a moronic strip sack fumble on the first drop back. Then he comes into the Raiders game in the opener and he gets picked down the middle of the field when they have the lead at the beginning of the second half. Then he plays good against Miami, goes to Pittsburgh. They turn it over 5 times. He was again befuddled. And then it's gone. All of it. The stupidity, the lack of poise, him being too amped up at the beginning of games. That to me is one of the most remarkable things. And I've been lucky enough to have seen some remarkable things from the quarterback position. That to me is one of the most remarkable things I've ever seen, to go from a guy shooting 83s to shooting 68s.
Like, so the coin dropped in the machine after week 3 into week 4. The coin just dropped into an MVP machine. Tom,
it's really? It's unbelievable. It really is. Look at the downfield throws. Look at the yards per attempt. Look at the guys he's throwing to. Not to besmirch. Look at the offensive line. Again, not to besmirch, but they're not loaded with experience and high level talent. It's remarkable.
So is that McDaniels getting through? I mean, what is it? Okay. Yeah.
I think it has a ton to do with it. And it's, again, not to besmirch Alex Van Pelt, who did diagnose a lot of the fundamental problems that Maye had at North Carolina and stripped it back down to 0 and started to fix them so that, his privates were not pointing completely down the field on every throw. Stay a little bit closed and then open up, I think, was one big thing. Because when he was opening up, he was dropping down and he was losing a lot of accuracy. And again, that's from watching Brady, how long he would stay closed on his throws and how much he would just make it hip oriented. So he improved it. But McDaniels, I think, met him more than halfway across the aisle to say, all right, well, you're not like Jimmy Garoppolo or Jacoby Brissett or even Tom Brady. I'm going to need to do things a little different with you because you do things differently than them. And it's been a mutually beneficial relationship, I think, in that way. Has
it ever, man? Who are some of the other guys we're not talking about? Because obviously team game here, defensively, other guys on offense we're not talking about.
Milt Williams has been great. Robert Spillane, he gave me the green light to call him Bobby.
Bobby Spillane.
Bobby Spillane has been a weapon.
That sounds better up in New England. You know what I mean? Bobby Spillane is much more of a New England than Robert Spillane. You know?
Who were you out with last night? It was just me and Bobby Spillane.
Yep. Right. It just rolls. It rolls off. It rolls off. Yeah. Okay.
Robert Spillane's been really good.
Right.
Gonzalez is smooth as hell. Oh, Marcus Jones, slot corner. He had the 2 return touchdowns in one game a few weeks back, but he's played tremendously well at slot corner. The one thing about him, Rich, that is different is the number of young players they're getting contributions from. Will Campbell has been everything you'd want in a left tackle after so much scrutiny. Jared Wilson, taken in the 3rd round, has been the starting left guard. We thought that was going to be a disaster. You get 2 rookies next to each other. He's been more than fine. Greg Woodson's been a starting safety. Their kicker is Andy Borregales. He's been fine. Kyle Williams had a touchdown catch. He should be okay. I'm missing other people.
I mean, Pop Douglas has really come to the fore for sure, you know, and obviously Mac Hollins. Listen, this. All right, screw it. I'll go here. There's a lot of connective tissue between this and 2003, Tom. I mean, honestly. I mean, 2001, my bad. There's a lot of connective tissue between here and 2001. Second year quarterback, you know, coach second time around, bunch of guys he's throwing to that, you know, obviously fantasy football wasn't going down back then, but a lot of guys that weren't the bold-faced names, no offensive players of the year on this team, right?
The ironic
defensively,
thing,
a bunch of guys that collectively, the collective is just kicking your ass, and everybody's thinking fool's gold, to be honest with you. And then boom, look what happened. No?
It's the Cam Newton take, and I'm not being a dink. It's from 30,000 feet. You're exactly right. When you really get into it, which I love because it's been my job, and I should have a doctorate in this stuff because I've been doing it. The reason it's different is when the Patriots were by far the 30th best team in the league. Were they 30? No, 31st best team in the league because Houston came in the next year. They were the 31st best team in the league by a fair amount. The reason, when Bledsoe got hurt, you're going to a 6th-round quarterback. You're already dealing with a coach who was a disaster in Cleveland, who went 5-11. Now you're 0-2. They were horrendous in free agency previously. They were not expected to do anything. They were 5-5 at the midpoint after just hanging around with the St. Louis Rams. I was enthused by the team because they were watchable, and you could see that there was some traction there. And I knew that, believe it or not, because I was not a big Bledsoe guy by that point, I knew that Brady was going to be their quarterback once he started playing, because he was just that friggin' good. But that team overachieved in a bizarre way. They didn't have the 3rd overall pick. They didn't have a guy who was a former, coach of the year. But that team did have some real talent on defense. They had Law, they had Malloy,
Bruschi,
they had McGinnis,
Will Fork, all of them.
He was not there yet.
Oh, Will Fork wasn't there yet?
I'm a doctorate. Okay. I told you.
Okay, my bad. I should let you talk. My bad.
I've done enough.
No. But so where does this wind up? I mean, is there reason to believe that the gold is real at the end of the day?
There is.
Huh?
There's reason. There's reason to believe
for this year, right now. I mean, right now, you and I are talking. They are ahead of the Buffalo Bills. They're ready to break that streak in the division, and they are threatening for the conference. They're threatening to put the road to the playoffs through Gillette again. This is happening right now, Tom.
You can look. The Achilles heel for Denver is they don't have a really strong offense. They're sputtery, as we know. The Colts, I still don't know if I'm a Daniel Jones guy. Bills cannot stop people on the ground. All those other teams, they have an Achilles heel. The Patriots' Achilles heel is red zone offense and defense. They suck. They're like worst in the league defensively. You get inside the 20, you're scoring touchdowns. You get inside the 10, 100% of the time. If you have first and goal, you're scoring a touchdown. So if you get behind, and they fall behind in games early on every time, the first drive is usually a touchdown or field goal for the opposition. If you get behind Kansas City or Buffalo, even if you're home, and you give that first touchdown up, and then they get down the red zone again after you had to go 3 and out, you're down 14-0. They haven't been there. So those are things I'm concerned about for them. But other than that, I just haven't seen the ineptitude in terms of fundamentals. They're not making stupid mistakes. They're not missing tackles. They're healthy as hell. You know, this injury to Milton Williams is the first one. And that's the main reason they won in 2018. It wasn't Sony Michel and Brady and Edelman and Gronk. I mean, they helped, obviously, more than helped. They were the drivers. But that car does not get over the finish line if the engine wasn't intact. And they lost like 2 guys the entire year to IR. I think it was Jeremy. Who's that running back from the Bengals? Jeremy Hill?
Yeah.
And Jawan Bentley, who had never even played. That's it. They had everybody else.
So in the minute I have left, is this Trevion Henderson's gig now? Because he's a hot hand, man. And I know there were a lot of New Englanders, including the one that just across the way just got on my ear and saying, why'd it take so long? You know, what are we? Because, I mean, he is really.
Hey, Tom. Great to see you, man.
He could be another difference maker in the last 6-7 weeks. When we're getting cold, you roll the Buckeye downhill and look out, man. That could happen.
It'll be Ramondre.
It will be. Okay.
Chris, check it out. If you look at it, not to give a hard time to the little fella, but his explosive runs are really buoying his yards per attempt. Those 2 long.
Totally agree. Totally agree.
So I would give the ball to Ramondre on first and second down. If somebody's going to get 18 carries, make sure it's Ramondre. But I do think that Henderson really built up a lot of confidence in the number of things he was able to do in the last couple of weeks. Say, all right, I got this now.
Tommy Curran, say hi to Blobby Spillane for me, okay?
Blobby, I was talking to Richie Eisen. Yep.
That's it. Thanks, Tom. Good to chat with you, buddy. Everybody check him out. A New England Patriots Insider on NBC Sports Boston, his podcasts and all the things that he writes. Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app 12 to 3 Eastern.